Good evening, students. How you guys doing? I'm going to go ahead and go over your work for tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and skip section 3. We'll come back to that at a later date. I'm sorry, topic 3. We'll come back to that at a later date. So we're still going to be in section 1, but we're going to jump to topic 7. Okay, so if you guys want to turn your coursework books to page 19, this is where I'll be basing out of this video from. Okay, and then tomorrow when you guys come in, you guys will be able to do the actual practice book for it. All right. So, uh, section 1, topic 7, is about understanding polynomial expressions. Okay. So a polynomial is an algebraic expression that can be represented as a constant, which is just a regular number, such as 3, 4, -45, 10, 1/2, 3 over 2, -5 over 7. Okay. It can also be represented as a variable. It could be x, it could be y, it could be ax, it could be ab, xy, z, -z, or it could be represented as a product of both constant and a variable. So it could be 3x, 2x squared, -5z, 17s, 1/2 b, anything like that. Okay. So basically, a polynomial is just a term that we have that is either constant, a variable, or a product of both of them. And they can be separated by either an addition or subtraction operation. Okay. So for instance, right here, we have this expression right here. Okay. So with that expression right there, we have 3x squared plus 2y minus 4z plus 5. And with that expression, we can count them. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 terms. Okay. So the first term is 3x squared. The second term is 2y. The third term is -4z. And the fourth term is 5. Okay. Now, with these polynomials, there's different ways to name them. You can name them as a monomial, and a monomial is any type of polynomial that only has one term. Okay, so an example of monomial or a monomial will be something like 3x squared. Another example can be something like t. Another example can be -2ab to the fourth power. Okay. So those can be all examples, okay? Because again, they're just one term. You also have what is called a binomial, okay? So a binomial is any type of polynomial that has two terms. So think of like bicycle, okay? So two terms would be something that kind of looks like a 2x squared minus x, or we can have 3y plus 4, okay? We can have negative 1/2 xy to the third plus 2z. Okay. Those are all examples of binomials. A trinomial is anything with 3 terms. Okay. So an example of a trinomial would be something kind of like x squared plus 2x minus 7. Okay. Again, you have 3 terms. Now, some students may think that you can combine the x squared and the x, but you can't because the x squared has a degree of 2 and the x only has a degree of 1. Okay. And of course, the 7 is just a regular constant number. And again, this is a trinomial because you have 3 terms and they're all separated by either an operation of addition or an operation of subtraction. The polynomial, or what we call a classic polynomial, is anything that has 4 terms and more. Okay. And they can be kind of hairy sometimes. So we can start off with something simple, such as 4x to the third minus 2x squared plus 4xy minus 10x. Okay. Now, like I said, it can get more hairy than that, but that's just one example I want to show you. All right. Now, keep in mind, one thing you do not see is that you do not see any expressions that have a degree where the exponent is a fraction, or you see anything where the variable is in a denominator form. Okay, they're always going to be positive exponents, and no degree is going to be in a denominator form. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about what is not a polynomial. So here we go. So what is not a polynomial is anything such as if we have the square root of x. Okay, and the reason why is because this can be rewritten as x to the 1/2. This is another way of writing. Oh, that's not a good way to write it. This is another way to write the square root of x. Okay. Also, any type of root. So if we had the cube root of y, this would be written as 1. I'm sorry. This would be written as y raised to the 1/3. Okay. If we had 3a squared over b, this is not also a polynomial. Okay. Um, let's say we was to have let's say it started off looking like a polynomial. So let's say it had 4x squared y minus 7y plus 4x to the -1. Okay. The fact that the exponent is negative means that if we use our negative exponent property, we could rewrite this expression as 4x squared y minus 7y plus 4 over x. And again, anytime we have a polynomial, we don't have variables that are in the denominator form. So this is what I mean when I say denominator form. All right. So these are all examples of what is not a polynomial. All right. Okay. Let's see. The degree. Okay, let's talk about the degree of something. So the degree of a monomial, okay? The degree of a monomial is the sum of all of the variables, okay? I'm sorry, it's the sum of the exponent of all of the variables, okay? So for instance, let's just write a regular monomial that you may see on the regular, all right? And so that, let's say we just had 2x to the 3rd power. The degree here of this monomial would just be 3, okay? Because you're only looking at the variable, all right? So it'd be a degree of 3, all right? Uh, well, let's say we had something that was so we added 2x to the 3rd y. Well, we have and this is still a monomial because you don't have anything that's being separated by an addition or subtraction sign. So this is still a monomial. The variable x has a degree of 3, and the variable y also has a degree as well. We don't normally write it, but this is a degree of 1. Okay. So remember, the degree of a monomial is the sum of the exponents for all of the variables. So 3 plus 1 is 4. So this should be a degree of 4. Okay. So let me just erase all of that over again. Again, you can pause the video and rewind this back if you want to write down those examples. But again, what you want to write down in your book is the degree of a monomial is the sum of the is the sum of the exponents of the variables or powers of the variables. Boy, it's not right. I say powers of the variables. Okay. Let me just write one more to see if you guys can get it from here. So let's say we had uh, 7x squared y z to the fifth. Okay. So what would be the degree of this monomial right here? Okay. If you wrote that it's 7, then you're wrong because the only thing you had put was 2 plus 5. But remember, this y has a 1 as well. So it's 2 plus 1 plus 5, which is 8. So the degree is 8. Now, the degree of a polynomial. The degree of a polynomial is the degree of the monomial term that has the highest degree. Okay. Let me just write it over. Let me just write that for you. The degree of a polynomial is the degree of the is the degree of the monomial with the highest or greatest degree, if you want to say that. Okay. Let me give you an example of that one. So let's say we had 10x to the fourth minus 5xy to the sixth plus 7y to the third z to the third. Okay. So here we have this monomial has a degree of 4 because you only have one variable, and that variable has an exponent of 4. This monomial here has a degree of 7 because the x has a degree of 1 and the y has a power of 6, so 1 plus x is 7. And this monomial here has a degree of 6 because this y has 1 of 3 and this one has 1 of 3 as well, so 3 plus 3 is that. So again, if you look at them, this one is 4, 7, 6. So which monomial had the highest degree? You guessed it, it is this one. So what we'll say is that this polynomial altogether, when you put them all together, this polynomial has a degree of 7 because this is the highest one. Has a degree of 7. Okay. Sometimes you will be asked to write a polynomial in standard form. Okay, and if you do, you want to go in the descending order. Okay, so start at the highest degree and go down. So if I had to write this polynomial that I just wrote in standard form, I would start with this part first. Okay. because that is my degree of the polynomial. It is a degree of 7, and that'll be my leading term. Okay, so the leading term of a polynomial is the term with the highest degree. Okay, which would be this one, and the leading coefficient is the coefficient of the leading term. So the leading coefficient would be -5. Okay? So basically, I would write this over. I would say -5x to the 6, and then I go plus 7y to the third, z to the third, plus 10x to the fourth. Okay? And that's how I will rewrite it over. Okay. All right, moving on. So let's try them out. So are the following expressed in polynomials? If so, name the type of polynomial and state the degree. Okay. Again, are the following expressions polynomials? If so, name the type of polynomial and state the degree. If not, justify your reasoning. Okay. So looking at the first one, do you think the first one is a polynomial? Okay. Yes, it is. Okay. If so, what is the name of this polynomial? This polynomial is called a correct monomial. Only has one term. Okay. And then what is the degree of this one? The degree of this monomial. And if you added the exponents, you just add 2 plus 3, which is 5. Degree of 5. Okay. So yes, it is a polynomial. This polynomial is called a monomial. Has a degree of 5. Okay. The next one is the next expression, algebraic expression, a polynomial. If so, uh, name it and give the degree. The answer to this one is no, it is not a polynomial. And the reason why is because of this part down here. You cannot have a variable that is down in the numerator part. I'm sorry, denominator part. Okay. Let's move on to the very next one. Okay. So is this algebraic expression a polynomial? The answer to that one is yes, it is. Okay. So yes, this is a polynomial. What is the type? What is the name of this polynomial, or what type of polynomial this is? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3. And when it comes to 3 of them, kind of like a triangle. So we call those trinomials. Okay. And this stuff can be found on page 20 now. Okay, page 20. Now that we know that it is a trinomial, and we know that it's a polynomial, and the type of polynomial is called a trinomial. What is the degree of this polynomial? Okay, you want to look for the one with the highest exponent. And this is a degree of 7. So degree of 7. Sorry for my spelling tonight. Degree of 7. Uh-oh. Degree of 7. Alrighty. Last ones. Okay. Is this expression a polynomial? And if so, classify it by name and give me the degree. This one is a polynomial. Okay. So yes, it is. The name of this one, again, we have how many terms? This is all together. That's one. Uh-oh. That one's all together. That's two. That one's together. That's three. So this is called a trinomial again. So trinomial. And what is the degree of this one? What is the degree? Remember, degree is the one with the highest number of terms. So we look here, count the exponents. 6 and 2 is 8. This is 1, 3, and 1. So that is 5. And this one is only bound by itself is 7. So this one has a degree of 8. Alrighty, lastly, is the polynomial is the algebraic expression a polynomial? If so, classify by name, and then give me the degree. No, it is not, and the reason why is because of this term right here. Because if you write that one over, this would be 2m. Sorry, this would be 2m plus 3 over n using our negative exponent property plus 8n squared n, which would just be n to the third power, really. All right. All right. So this the answer be no. Okay, because this is not. Alrighty, and that is it for tonight. Make sure you study this video or watch it over again to make sure you understand it so we can go straight into the work for tomorrow. All right. Thank you.